Hello, good morning. Welcome to World Peace Wednesdays. This is our second installment of World Peace Wednesdays. And I'm just going to give people a minute to pop in to get the notifications that we're going live here for our second experience of World Peace Wednesdays. I'm very happy to be here today, as always, because world peace is such an important energy for us right now. It's so easy for us to look at the world and feel like things aren't right, and no one's going to argue with you about that. There's a lot of change, a lot of shifts on a whole lot of levels, and yet when we look out into the world and we get worried, we really are creating a place where we create more of what we're looking at and we're worried about. So the idea of World Peace Wednesdays is for us to really begin to shift our focus, to begin to honor and acknowledge what's going on out in the world, and yet not have it get to a place of rattling us within and creating a sense of instability and insecurity within ourselves. So again, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're just going to wait a couple minutes for people to come in. And what I am going to be doing in just a few moments is I'm going to be channeling. And I'm going to be channeling one of the non-physical guides that I have, and her name is Ishara. And she's brought through something to us called the universal sphere, which we've taught to people in many, many places in the world. And it's really beginning to create a new vibration and a new experience for many people in the world. And in addition to that, she's also been teaching us and helping us reframe life and our relationship to life to give us a more empowered experience, connect more easily with the understanding about who we are and how to live a better life, honestly. So I'm going to be doing some live channeling of Ishara today. And then I'm going to guide all of us in a universal sphere to help us connect more deeply with our sense of inner peace and really see that as a center point for emanating greater peace around the world. Because the energetic position, if you will, that we hold in our mind, in our energy field, makes a difference, and it does ripple out, whether it ripples out to somebody you're standing next to in line when you're buying coffee, whether it's how you communicate with your family and friends, people at work, even your thought forms, they go out into the world and they create a difference. So let's reframe what's going on and our sense of our empowerment around it to create a really peaceful center point. And that's what the focus of the universal sphere will be today. So I'm going to just start now officially. I think we have enough time for people to have come in if they're going to come in live. I know people can always watch this, and you can too if you're watching this live. You can come back to this anytime on our Universal Sphere page and watch it again. The wonderful thing about Ishtara's messages, as well as the Universal Sphere, you don't need to connect with it live to really get the energetic transmission in it. It's available to you all the time. So you can come back to this page anytime you want and be in that receiving place of the universal sphere. And the energetic transmission in Ishtara's words, she talks a lot about that, and I'll refer to that in a moment. All right, so today, one of the things that I'm aware of that is significant today is there was a very large earthquake yesterday in South America. I mean, mostly I connected with the information relative to Peru, and there's a lot of, earth changes happening there. And this impacts all of us. This is on the edge of the Pacific Plate, which is this ring of fire, and it goes up through the United States and goes over, through Canada and up and around. Actually, it probably doesn't go through Canada. It goes out into the ocean and then down and through Japan. I mean, it's a huge Pacific Plate. So there's movement on the planet, and a lot of it is necessary. because these plates move. When I used to teach earth science, it was one of the things I used to teach the sixth graders about these plate movements. And it doesn't take much to create a big effect. But, you know, the planet herself is moving and changing, and she herself is impacted by our thoughts and actions and what's going on in the world right now. So I did want to offer up that awareness and also bring into the universal sphere today some beautiful energies for this incredible planet that we're living on, and giving her as a living being the support and well wishes and high vibrations that are available as she shifts and changes. And as she does, we do as well. It impacts all of us on the planet on so many levels. So I'm going to just talk about Ishtara's messages and then drop into the channeling mode here. So I've been channeling Ishtara for almost 8 years, 7.5 years. And she's just this incredible being of light and love who has so much humor, common sense, and amazing wisdom to share. As a conscious channel, I am, as Holly, aware of what she's saying at the time she's saying it. I may not fully remember it tomorrow or the next day, but I am there right along with you, learning right along with everything that she has to say. Now, what's interesting also is that with your permission, so I'll invite anyone who's listening to this call live or listening to it later on, you can open up, if you wish, to receive an energetic aspect, not just of the words she's sharing, but also what she is. There's always an energetic transmission that can really shift your energy if you're open to it. So that's going to be available to you along with whatever message she's going to share. Now, what's interesting about me as a channel, and maybe this is true of most people, but I have no idea what she's going to talk about. So literally, I'm going to be just as interested as you are in exactly what she has to share, because I have no idea. And so what I will do is I'm going to close my eyes down and I'll be quiet just for a moment. That helps me drop in more deeply and tune in more deeply with Ishtara. And then I will begin sharing the message. My eyes are closed, not to be strange and look sort of otherworldly, but I literally get a lot of visions while I'm channeling. And usually what I'm saying is related to the visions I'm seeing, and just closing down the outward distractions of the world to be able to really connect with those visuals helps me share the message more effectively. So I'll share the message, and then afterwards we'll just go into the universal sphere experience. If you're somebody who knows how to do the universal sphere experience, you can follow along. If you don't, please just open yourself up to be in this incredible place of open, heart-centered receiving. Most people, when they're in an experience with the universal sphere, feel very centered in love. And most people report a lot of peace and clarity can come in. And literally, I've had people say that when they've experienced the universal sphere, that sense of peace and calmness and clarity of their mind has lasted literally for days afterwards. So if you want to absolutely just be in a place of openness and receiving, allow yourself to receive this as a gift in the morning or evening, wherever you find yourself in the world. And when I'm doing the universal sphere, for those of you who know how to do it, I'm not guiding it from a place of everyone already knowing and understanding it. So there'll be periods of silence, and just follow along. And we all contribute to our sense of peace and well-being within inside of ourselves, the way we look at and respond and react to our world around us, and then that emanates from us. So as we can create literally a greater wave of peace, if we can connect with that sense of peace within inside of us, which usually is founded in a huge amount of trust and goodness of the world that we can have as a center point for ourselves, so that the experiences around us, whether they're in our personal relationships, whether they're at work, within our family, or how we view the world, it doesn't rattle us, and we can really lean into and hang on to and anchor ourselves in that sense of inner peace. And the way that emanates out from us is profound. I don't know if you've ever been in a more challenged situation, maybe at the scene of an accident or some really shocking news, and been able to drop into that sense of peace and clarity around it. It really creates an anchor point for everyone else around you. And this is how we can create incredible change in the world, by really dropping into our own sense of peace and trust in the world and our part in it and our contribution to it. So thank you for those of you who are here live, and also those of you who said that you couldn't quite get here on time and you'll watch the replay. Thank you for being here and being your contribution to the planet at this time. I'm going to just close my eyes down, drop in more deeply with Ishtara, and then away we go with whatever message she has to share. I can't wait to hear. Greetings, great beings of light. My name is Ishtara. And as was said before, and will be said again now, if you feel willing, open your energy field. And you could say, how do I open my energy field? Literally allow yourself the space to say, I choose to open my energy field now to the energy and the transmission that's coming through, knowing that it's always for the highest and best. Invite that aspect of any transmission in. For what's important about this time is really understanding that you really are the center point of your life, and yet it's a very common energetic stance and life stance, relationship stance for many, many, many on the planet, to be very externally focused, where you're looking at the people around you and looking for feedback about how you are relative to how they react to you. You're looking at the world and looking for the world to be settled in a way that makes you comfortable, for you to then feel centered. Now, there could be quite a long conversation about why this is in the energetic collective, to look outside to find your sense of stability, to find your sense of peace, to find your sense of rightness about who you are. And yet it's going to be said in this moment in time, literally, it's backwards. And you would say, well, how could it be backwards if this is what we've been doing for thousands of years? And what would be said here today is that that was a distortion. And one could talk about the old model from the old Piscean age that is still prevalent still, not fully in the Aquarian age yet. Yet at the same time, those energies are still there, where there was a sense of external control. But this is not what this transmission is about. What this transmission is about is shifting the focus so that you get to feel more comfortable in your life. So you're literally relearning to reconnect with yourself first and foremost, and then allow that to be informing your life from a greater place, from a greater sense of who you are, and beginning to trust that as your center point. Now, you could say we're in a world that there is always external input. Of course there is. You're in a world to have relationships and experiences with other people, whether they're at work, your family, your loved ones, your intimate relationships, and again, even your relationship to the world and how you respond to it creates your inner vibration and the way you view the world. Now, the reality is the world around you is always changing, isn't it? Today, you could wake up and have a great day, and you could say, I had a great day because these wonderful things happened to me. I had the phone call from the friend that I had been missing. I had a wonderful thing happen in my business. I got 15 new clients today. I saw a political shift that I've really been waiting for. And when we say we've had a great day based on those external circumstances, what it means is tomorrow might not look the same unless I have a lot of other external circumstances happening that please me in those same ways. Yet, when you look at the external world, there are so many variables there that you've put your attention on to create your sense of peace, centeredness, that foundational aspect of your worthiness to be you. So, while one can look at the fact that we're all in relationship with one another and we all impact one another, the question is, how deep do you let that go and shift who you are? So take a breath in for a moment and allow yourself to just energetically drop deeply into you. And if you're not sure what that means or how to do it, just draw yourself into your core, whether you feel your core is best connected with through your heart center, through your solar plexus, maybe feeling yourself anchoring your energies into your body and then down into the planet. There are many, many ways to do this. Anchor yourself into you. And you can do it very easily by just paying attention to your breath, also feeling the breath going in and allowing yourself to move your awareness into your physical body to really be there. And as you exhale, allow yourself to move even deeper into your body. And as you do, connect with yourself. And notice in this moment how you feel about you. Are you accepting? Are you honoring? Even acknowledging who you are as the center point of your life? And as you do drop into a greater sense of yourself, you begin to, just for a few moments, allow the input from the world to fall away. And what tends to happen then is a greater sense of relaxation is available, a greater sense of inner peace. You open up to an awareness of really who you are and how you're feeling. And at that moment, when you drop into that, acknowledge also that you could say, oh, I feel better doing that. And I notice maybe I'm feeling a little stressed or worried or anxious. And honoring how you feel through your awareness is really important. And honoring, am I really feeling this for myself, or is how I'm feeling related to the world around me? Is it related to external information that maybe isn't even really mine? And as you do this, allow what isn't yours, what is maybe energy that came from watching or listening to the news this morning. Or maybe it came from an uncomfortable conversation with your partner before you even left the house, or a challenged moment getting out of the house with your kids as you took them to school today. Whatever it is, notice that those can be in your field, but they're not you. Those feelings, those emotions, those tensions came about from external experiences. And you could say they're real in your world. And yes, of course, they are real in your everyday life. But the question is, you can be observant of them and not decide that they're you. And one easy way to do this is you could say to yourself, I'm noticing I feel stress that came from this uncomfortable conversation, but it's not me. I notice that I feel harried because the kids weren't getting their shoes on to get out the door to school on time, but it's not you. It's something you're experiencing, but it's not you. And as you create that little bit of separation, you can keep yourself tapped into an inner well, a reservoir of a greater sense of your inner peace. Because as you can create a little bit of separation from yourself and the world, your true nature that really does sit in love and peace and compassion, it exists already. It is there as a foundational aspect of who you are. And so you can create a little bit of energetic space for yourself to really feel a sense of who you are at that core. And as you begin to connect with it, even if it's just a little bit, even if you're saying, well, I'm following along, but I don't know if it's really real. Trust that it's real. Trust yourself in this experience, in this moment. And all you need to do is open the door a little bit and then acknowledge it. I do feel a little bit more peace. And then acknowledge, I'm really connecting more with my sense of peace. And as you notice it and acknowledge it, it grows. And you notice the next piece and you acknowledge it and it grows. And this is how we really can create a better sense of balance and a center point for ourselves of what we wish to have. For if any of you are connecting more with that sense of love, that sense of peace, that sense of trust in yourself, you know that you're tapping into your core, and you know that it's there always, regardless of your circumstances. And so what this means, as you extend this thought, what it means is things can be happening in your world and in the world at large around you, and you can still be centered in your true nature of who you are. And then you do not have the requirement for the world around you to settle down in order for you to feel good about yourself and your place in the world. And this is literally one of many ways to connect with an expanding sense of peace, which can expand literally out into every interaction you have. And that touches those people and it ripples out exponentially. And in this moment, you could say, well, I don't know how this really shifts anything on the other side of the world. And in this moment, you could say it may not. And yet the ripple out creates a potential for everyone to connect more strongly with a sense of peace and literally make decisions honoring that sense of peace and honoring that in each and every one of you. For if I connect with peace strongly within myself, it means that I see you as somebody who can connect and has that same sense of peace within yourself. And I can look at a world leader who I may be concerned about what they're doing and be very upset about it, or if I've connected with that sense of peace within me, I know it's available within them. And I can literally look at them and separate them from their actions and know that within they have that same core sense. And I can hold the space for them to discover it and live and emanate from that place as well. So let's have a universal sphere experience and lock this in, this sense of peace, of who we are, trusting in this moment where we are right now, regardless of our circumstances, whether they're comfortable, whether they're uncomfortable. And most have some areas that feel really wonderful and peaceful and aligned and strong and connected. And some areas where we can get unsettled quite quickly. And what we want to do is expand that out so that no matter what's happening, we have that sense of anchored peace within ourselves, regardless of the circumstances. So as you listen along, and if you're in a receiving mode, close your eyes down if you're in a safe, secure place for yourself where you feel comfortable doing that, closing your eyes down. Allow your awareness to move into your breath and into your body. Give yourself this moment to focus on you and the wellspring of love, of peace, of connectedness, of understanding that you have within you the seeds of all that you're desiring and craving within your life. Focusing on your breath. And in these moments of quiet and silence, the universal sphere energies that are in training to the multidimensional field where solution energy abounds, it is a field of infinite possibilities where there is an energetic connection to more than has ever been connected with before. This is what will be moving into your energy field, allowing you to anchor into the space of your heart, your sense of peace and rightness, allowing all the wounds of life to move to the background of your energetic experience of life. Feeling these energies moving throughout your entire physical body. And some of you may feel it. You may notice a movement, an energetic warmth, tingling. Many report feeling a greater sense of peace, focusing on the place of their heart. Often there's warmth. Really open to receiving the energy and the awareness and the experience that you are all that you desire. At your core level, you're not broken. The light and the truth of who you are is an essential light on the planet at this time. Who you are is a contribution. Who you are makes a difference. allowing these universal sphere energies and moving not just through your physical body, but through all your energetic bodies. Moving any sense of unworthiness out of the way. For you are worthy. You are worthy of all you desire, all you came here to do and be. Draw a breath in and open to a sense of worthiness. Ground yourself in the energy of I am worthy because I am. You're worthy without condition. And now you'll be invited to feel the light of who you are, and you can feel it, you can imagine it. Your imagination is an incredible pathway for creation. Imagine the light of who you are and the sense of peace and trust to emanate out from you and become so big you feel the space you're within. And moving out even further into your city, your state or your province, your country, and feel the light of who you are, centered in the peace and the love. Encircling the planet, for the light that you carry has the capacity to do that. And as you do, bring to mind all the people within the world. And as your energy encircles the globe, visualize them touching and connecting with what you've connected with today, making that more accessible to them and extending it into the animals that are on the land, in the air, in the water, all the minerals, every aspect of the planet, the land itself, and then feel the energy of who you are moving through the planet, through all the layers of the planet. So we all exist and emanate from a place of peace and love that are the core essence of everything, who we are as individuals, but it includes the planet herself. And if you're aware of a particular area of the world, whether it's in your local community or somewhere else on the planet from you, that needs more love and light. For example, all those impacted by the earthquake in South America, or political unrest in many parts of the world. Direct the light to be more easily accessible there. You are the light of the world. And who you are matters. And so now let's take a nice breath in, drawing tangible awareness to your physical body again. Notice how you're feeling. And once again, honor and acknowledge what it is that you're feeling. Really draw your awareness to it and give it words and give it substance. So if you've connected with a greater sense of peace or inner quiet, calmness, however you would choose to describe that, give it words. Express it as your truth in this moment. And as you do, you solidify it in your field even more, knowing that you can always tap back into that. And the more tangibly we connect with these moments means that in less settled moments in our lives, you can tap back into that because you know it's possible. And you know that it's not conditional on the world around you for you to connect with a sense of peace. And from there, you create a huge contribution to peace in this world, in this dimension at this time. Another breath in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And welcome back for those of you who joined us. Thank you so much for those of you who are here. It's been a pleasure to connect with you. If anyone has anything they'd like to share, there's a chat off on the right of my screen. If you have anything that you experienced in this moment, it would be lovely to hear. But we'll be doing this every Wednesday for the foreseeable future at 8 a.m. Each time, as you heard before, Ishtar is going to share whatever message she wishes to share around this idea of world peace and how we can begin to shift our world, which then ripples out into the rest of the world. So I'm not seeing any comments come in. So thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure. And on this page, you can always share something later on if you wish, or feel free to send me a private message on Facebook if you wish, if you have anything that came up or any questions. And I hope you have an absolute wonderful Wednesday. And I trust and hope that this sense of peace and connection goes with you for the whole day. Take care. Bye-bye.